Big Bear was born around 1825 near Jackfish Lake. His father, Black Powder, the chief of two mixed bands, Cree and Objawa.
Big Bear began establishing himself as a leader in the late 1850s and early 1860s. In 1871, he was the leading chief of the Prairie River people, and by 1874 headed a camp of 65 lodges. His influence rose steadily in the following years, reaching its height in the late 1870s.
Although he appeared in the negotiations, Big Bear refused to sign Treaty No. 6. He was the first major chief on the prairies to do so. Over the next 6 years, Big Bear continued to refuse treaty.
Treaty No. 6 was a historic agreement between the Cree and the government for food.
Finally, on December 8, 1882, faced with starvation, Big Bear signed Treaty No. 6.
In the late 1870s, Big Bear tried to create a political confederation of Indian bands capable of forcing concessions from the government. From 1878 to 1880, he traveled through the Canadian Northwest and Montana trying to unite the bands. Big Bear's efforts focused on uniting Cree bands with attempting to create an Indian territory in the Northwest through adjacent reserves.
The government refused to grant bordering reserves and did not respond to joint gatherings of Cree bands such as the one organized by Big Bear at Fort Battleford in May 1884 to present Indian injustice.
In 1884, Big Bear hosted a thirst dance at the Poundmaker Reserve. The event, which was attended by over 2,000 people, was disrupted by the NWNP, and only the efforts of Big Bear and Poundmaker averted violence.
As a result of the government's refusal to negotiate with them, Big Bear began to lose influence over the band's warrior society. On April 2, 1885, Big Bear's band, led by his son and the war chief, Wandering Spirit, killed 9 people at Frog Lake.
Big Bear's efforts to stop the massacre failed. No longer in control of the band, Big Bear remained in the background canceling peace during the rest of the resistance.
Bear was brought to trial in Regina on 11 September. After deliberating for 15 minutes, the jury found him guilty of treason felony, and he was sentenced to 3 years in jail. Released in February 1887 because of poor health, Big Bear settled on the Poundmaker Reserve, where he died on 17 January 1888.